So this is Inverness, which is the unofficial capital of the Scottish Highlands. Today is the 4th of July, not that you'd know it, and the first day that we've seen any rain, although it's not raining right now. This is a beautiful city, and just like we learned yesterday, Inverness, Inver means mouth of, just like Inverclyde was the mouth of the Clyde. This is the mouth of the Ness, the River Ness that we're looking at. You can feel this bridge that we're on bouncing up and down. It definitely has some bounce to it. I'm trying to hold the camera as steady as possible, but it has some give. And the mix of old and new between the buildings in this city, very cool too. Very easy to walk. We were just up by the castle a couple of moments ago. Now we're crossing the river on this walking bridge. Very shaky walking bridge. Right across the River Ness is Inverness Castle. 19th century building. It was actually built to replace the medieval structure that the Jacobites destroyed, and today it's actually the sheriff's court and police department. They have a festival going on for Armed Forces Day. Just got some information that Armed Forces Day is throughout the UK and pays tribute to all of the armed forces throughout the United Kingdom. Just so happens that they're doing it on the 4th of July. It was supposed to be last week, but the weather didn't hold up. This is Cawdor Castle. It's actually a residence right now. There's someone actually living in here, Lady Cawdor. The Thane of Cawdor, or the Lord, lived here. This goes back 600 years, and in fact is mentioned in Macbeth. The castle was the setting of Duncan's murder in Macbeth, but truth be told, the actual castle was built in the 14th century and didn't even exist in the lifetime of the real Macbeth. Cross the drawbridge to enter. Photos and videos were not allowed to be taken inside the castle, but the rooms were gorgeous, and not only does it go back to medieval times, but it's still a living residence. She's here from October throughout the winter, so it's her home, and they put it on display when she's not here. You can walk through these gardens.
Gaelic word. Whiskey is basically an anglicised version of the Gaelic for water of life, which is uskava. Uskava has become whiskey. So that's the Gaelic for water of life, or whiskey, Uskava. And if we're drinking whiskey in the pubs, as we occasionally like to do, we would toast each other, cheers each other, and you might have heard this elsewhere by saying Slanjava. Have you heard that? Slanjava. So that's good health in Gaelic. So you're drinking your Uskava and you would say Slanjava.
This is the battlefield.
So that's the battlefield again, just to refresh you. Actually, it's looking a bit drier now. That's Culloden battlefield on the left-hand side with the big monument in the middle. That's the monument to all of the Jacobites that fell during the battle. 1,500 in total, and 700 of them within just 2 minutes.
There's a viaduct that'll take you all the way to Edinburgh. It's a train trestle, takes you all the way to Edinburgh. And as he says, it's not the one from Harry Potter, even though it looks like it. That's on the other side of the island.
Oh, like big parts of boat.
And you mentioned that the temperature in the lake is
Very constant.
which is
So this is a beach on the famous Loch Ness, pronounced Loch, not Loch as we're told. Loch means lake, and this is Loch Ness. And there's Michelle with her eyes peeled, looking for the Loch Ness monster. What a unique bird. Not a monster, but still pretty cool. In fact, oh, there's another one. This guy over here, right beside Michelle, quit his job to come here to look for the monster. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for searching for the monster longer than anybody else. And he hasn't found anything yet. Is that the Loch Ness monster? Nope, just a duck. Alright, gotta get back to the bus. No monster for us. We tried.
Those four races, the Vikings, the Britons, the Picts and the Celts, Picts and the Gaels, all come together really to make the Highlanders as we have them just now.
So these are the clava cairns, and these rocks were individually placed purposefully, and they have different ceremonies throughout the year on the solstices and other times.
Celebrate and to communicate with the gods, and to seek help in their daily trials and tribulations, to look for advice and so on, and also to communicate with their ancestors. So two reasons they were coming here: communicate with gods and communicate with their ancestors.
This one was used for cremations on the inside. This one is called the Passage Grave, and each rock was placed to form shadows. For example, on the shortest day of the year, on December 21st, they would pray to the gods that the sun would eventually come back. And this goes all the way to the Bronze Age, with the first Celts to come here to Scotland. This is the inside of one of them. So Greenock is on the River Clyde. The area is called Inverclyde, made up of, I think it was 3 towns and 4 villages. This area was a port village, and they imported sugar and tobacco and used Clydesdales to pull that stuff, and warehouses all throughout the area. It's a beautiful building, the Custom House. And this clock tower, just saw a picture from years back. And if you follow this walkway, you get right back to our ship, which is right over there. And there's a yacht in the water right there. I forget the team. Was it Manchester United? I don't know. Some football team. That's the owner of the team, and I guess he has 3 yachts. And that's the middle-sized one. There's a crew of 70 on it, they said. Well, there's a crew of over 1,000 on that one.
As we go into the gatehouse, a couple of things for you to note. First of all, there's a door that takes you up into the area where the gatekeeper would stay. But the gatekeeper was required to be at his gate. And you'll find his position marked out quite clearly. They gave him a seat to sit on to make him more comfortable. But they wanted to make sure that he didn't fall asleep. So the seat is only about 4 inches wide, and it's also on a nice slope.
This is the back side of the castle, which is very, very picturesque. And the tower is over there. Let's go check that out. So this would have been a guard tower, and that would have been the wall that would have been attached all the way around. Down onto the tower where we were, and right out to sea. So this is the main room of the building from the 1590s, and they said it would have had colorful tapestries and draperies on the walls. This huge fireplace would have been roaring, and right on the main table there would have had the finest tableware prominently displayed. That door right over there goes downstairs to the wine cellar. This door has a spiral staircase upstairs to the living rooms, and then the serving quarters are in here with stairs that go downstairs to the kitchen.
Oh my god. I think I just had a miniature heart attack. Oh, that was funny.
I'm like, what did you see?
That scared me. She walked around the corner excited.
So this is downstairs in the kitchen area. They had the big fire stove here, a little salt box, a bread oven. You get some fresh water here, and then a drain. And then an area here where they can grind corn into meal and flour. And then bring it upstairs into the main room where we were earlier to serve it. So this is the base of the old tower house, and the guide was just explaining how it was definitely used for defense based on the thickness of the walls and the way the windows are set. And then he was explaining how the staircase, the spiral staircase, is unique because it goes up the left. This is upstairs in the main bed chamber area. Mini fireplace, little closet area. And I'll look downstairs. There's a better look at the flag that we saw from the ground, from the very top of the battlement tower. What a view. And once again, they were calling for rain today. And they said most days, again, it does rain. So this is William Street, which is the oldest street in Greenock. And it takes you into Cathcart Square. And the church in front of us is from back in the 1760s, and it's modeled after St. Martin in the Fields in London. The horseshoe in the ground here signifies the location for hangings and public floggings.
Walked in dead quick.
Here's a statue of James Watt, who was born on this street, and he was an inventor who improved the steam engine. He coined the term horsepower, and now of course wattage is used to measure the power of electricity. So his name lives on. This is the fire station from the late 1800s, and they used it right up until the 1960s, and now they have a fire museum inside. It's a free museum, and this, I guess, was the police station right next to it over here. Let's go check it out. So this is the Fire Brigade Museum here in Greenock, and this is David, who is born and raised here.
I certainly am, yes.
So tell us about this piece of machinery right here.
Built by Shandon Mason Engineers in London. It's dating from 1887. A 5-man crew would have been sent out with it. It's a steam pump. It's one of the first machines that would have been able to put water onto the fire instead of buckets, or like the machine behind it, manual pumps.
And then the horse would...
It would be horse driven.
Pull this thing.
When the horses weren't pulling this, they were actually pulling trams.
Trams.
So part-time is when they'd be brought in. Horses would be changed over on a daily basis.
What do you know about Clydesdales and the history of Clydesdales here in town?
Clydesdales are synonymous with Scotland.
Because you got the River Clyde.
Yes. Clydesdales are the national breed, basically.
The national
breed.
Yeah. And before they had the horse pumps, they had these manual pumps that the guys would actually pull to the fires and then throw these buckets of water on the fire. This is Wallace, the famous mascot of Glasgow Fire Services, who was a stray in 1894 and attended many fires, even wore his uniform and fire boots. Great museum.
Was a stray, and he attached himself to a fire station, and the firefighters fed him and they became quite friendly. And when they were turning out, the dog would run ahead of the horses. And if you imagine traffic today, the traffic at that time was all horse driven.
Yes.
So this dog would go and chase the horses out of the way and create a path. And when it came to a turn, you know, if it came to a T-junction, the driver would use his foot and he'd point. The dog would look over his shoulder and he'd go ahead and go that direction. But the townsfolk of Glasgow thought he knew where the fire was.
Oh my.
Right? So,
was phenomenal.